This is Bad Movies We Love, part of the Scheist Podcast Network.
Hey there, bad movie lovers. Welcome back to another episode of Bad Movies We Love. I am your host, Nick Scheist.
The master of the stupid stuff!
I am going to be taking October off from releasing new episodes, so this isn't goodbye, it's just see you later. But before my little break begins, there is still some business to attend to, and whether you planned it or not,
if you're listening to this, you are the resistance.
That's right, and I want to hear from you. The link for the listener survey is up in the show notes, and it's anonymous, so you can tell me what you like and don't like, so I can keep improving the show for you. If you don't want to be anonymous, you can also email me directly at badmovieswelove@thescheist.com. One of the best and easiest ways to help the show is by leaving a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. And if you've been listening along, you'll know that we were doing a giveaway here at Bad Movies We Love. And the winner of that giveaway is Just Movies 2000. Now, I don't have a name to go with that or a face to put with that. So, if you are in fact Just Movies 2000, you gotta let me know. If it is unclaimed, we're gonna roll it over into November and we'll do a $100 giveaway. But before we get there, we are here to close the book on SchwarzTember for 2024. And my wife, Christen, is back with me once again, and we're getting a jump on the Christmas spirit with Brian Levant's 1996 comedy, Jingle All the Way.
Hi, you might remember me from being disgusting.
But you're kind of like doing the opposite of what a Christmas movie should do, kind of a thing.
She's fed up and uppercuts this reindeer.
Did I miss something or watch the wrong movie?
Who the F is Lloyd?
The Black Friday stuff, like the craze of going to the mall, is kind of funny to see.
He Three Stooges, like five guys with a candy cane. Swings the candy cane, it's like dunk, 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 dunk.
Why did I love this so much?
Ooh, well, can you come over and like fix my gutter?
Turbo Man!
Turbo Man! It's Turbo time!
Turbo Guy.
Turbo Man. The Turbo Man doll.
Turbo Man doll. It's Turbo Time.
Turbo Man!
Yeah, Turbo Man.
Turbo Man.
Yes.
Yes. It's Turbo Time. Turbo Man's.
Turbo Man, some fruity robot named Turtle Man.
I am ready.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Hi, welcome back.
Hi. Thank you.
What's been going on since the last time you were here for Hook?
Oh my goodness, we've traveled the world.
A little bit. Traveled.
A very small part of the world?
Yeah, traveled some North America.
Sorry.
Canada, New York.
Mm-hmm.
Sliver of the world, but
Peace.
world traveling nonetheless.
Feels like a lot for us.
It was a lot in a short period of time, that's for sure.
Yep.
But welcome back.
Thanks.
Speaking of the Hook episode, Sean, one of our contributors here at the show, just messaged me to let me know that he was listening to the Hook episode and that he's on our side.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Thanks,
so that's
Sean.
nice. Yeah, thanks, Sean. Appreciate that. So by the time you get around listening to this, you know, you'll hear that shout out. But he recorded Conan the Barbarian with me, and we'll get to it when we talk about the movie a little bit, but there is like a weird piece of connective tissue besides just the Arnold Schwarzenegger
Interesting.
connection. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But today we're talking about Jingle All the Way. It's, Halloween decorations are up, but we're doing a Christmas movie.
I mean, there's Christmas decorations out at Costco.
That's true. We probably should have got wrapping paper
And wrapping
while we
paper,
were
yep.
there. Oh, well. it's going to be up for a while, so I think we'll be okay. But yeah, this is a 1996 movie directed by Brian Levant, written by Randy Kornfield and Chris Columbus, who is uncredited, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sinbad, the late Phil Hartman, and Rita Wilson. And this movie has an IMDb score of 5.7.
Wow.
Metascore of 34. This is where it gets ugly. Rotten Tomato critic score 21%. And the audience score is a 41%. Letterboxd has it as a 2.9, which would be a 58. So that gives us a Bad Movies We Love total score of 42.2 out of 100.
Yikes.
Yeah, but that means I get to talk about it. So that's right in my breadbasket. Right in the sweet spot.
Up your alley?
Up my alley. Don't want to go too far up my alley, but this is what we do here on the show. And, you know, it's almost 9 o'clock at night. We're recording this. Just watched my poor Buffalo Bills get manhandled in Baltimore.
Yeah, it was sad.
Yeah. There were a few plays away from it being a different kind of game, but credit to the Ravens. They played well. They did what they were supposed to do in that game, and the Bills have to learn. That's all there is. It was sad to see, you know, another defensive starter got hurt, but, you know, people don't listen to this show to hear me talk about the Bills. I stopped doing the Bills podcast for a reason, because I don't want to have to commiserate by my lonesome for an hour after they lose. So here, it's the spirit of the season. 'Tis the season to be jolly, because it's Arnold Schwarzenegger in a Christmas movie.
It's difficult to watch a Christmas movie already.
We just watched it last night, and did you know that he's a mattress salesman in this movie?
No?
Yeah.
When do we ever see that?
We see that he's like at his desk, and he's like, "You're my best customer. You're my best customer." And he's doing a lot of that. So I thought he said something about a cloth. So I was like, okay, maybe like does upholstery or carpets or something like that. But they're like, no, mattress salesman.
I thought like insurance or something.
Well, you know the high-powered world of mattress sales, of course. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what we're all looking for.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense that would pull him away so much from his family, but okay.
Yeah. I want to be the best mattress salesman in the world.
There's a lot of holes in this, I feel like.
Yeah, okay, let's just be fair. The script is not amazing, and that's probably one of the weaker issues with the film. But when you design a film like this that is sort of meant to capture the frenzy of toy shopping, I mean, honestly, like I think Sinbad and Phil Hartman and Arnold like elevate this movie beyond what it would otherwise be. Like this could easily be like a Hallmark Channel with no A-list talent in it.
For sure. I'm pretty sure they've probably done a version of this, if not multiples.
Yeah.
But it is nostalgic in the sense that I remember this craze. I think I told you when we were watching it, it was like the Tickle Me Elmo craze. But I think it's also I think like modeled after, because I was trying to remember what came first, but I think it was modeled after Cabbage Patch Kids.
Yeah, that was part of it, because that was like late 80s.
Because I couldn't really tell or remember when was it set versus when it was made.
I mean, it was set in the 90s, because I forgot that the movie starts with like a Turbo Man spoof, basically, it's like a Turbo Man TV show movie, whatever it is, but it's a knockoff of like Power Rangers. Like they even have like the color coded people in the show that all wear like the matching color coded costumes. So
yeah, but I also remember this frenzy with Beanie Babies.
Yeah. And I mean, this is like, I mean, even recently there was like Black Friday mobs like this.
Yeah. I'm out of touch with the kid toy version, but for adults, like the PlayStations and those game consoles.
Right. Fortunately, I'm so behind on game consoles. It's not a big rush for me to get them, but we got like a TV for a Black Friday deal, which ended up being a shitty TV. Just a 65-inch monitor at this point. We still got to recycle that thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think pretty much the Black Friday stuff, like the craze of going to the mall, is kind of funny to see how big of a deal it was in the 90s compared to now. I know it's like 30 years, obviously, but I mean, I would never, unless there was something very specific that was only in a store, you get really good deals even before Black Friday or before those, holiday crazes online, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I mean, like, this movie is a comedy, and, it's about a father who is so obsessed with selling mattresses that he's not really around for his wife and kid, and he forgot to get this toy, and that's the catalyst for him to go on this adventure. But on, like, the darker side of things, like, people have been trampled to death at Black Friday events and stuff like this. So on the one hand, I understand wanting to sort of make it a frenzy by setting it up in that way, but also it does sort of like very loosely string together a reason for this to happen. Like maybe if you weren't like missing your kid's karate belt ceremony and all this other stuff that happens, then maybe you wouldn't feel the need to be like, well, the only way I can save Christmas is by like getting this item in the middle of, the mob of people trying to like find this toy on Christmas Eve kind of thing. So I do feel like probably the writing is one of the weaker areas of the film, but it's a good Arnold performance, and he gets to play a dad, and he gets to kind of play like a not excellent dad. I just, when I was doing some of his other movies, I had to go back and think, I'm like, how often does he have a wife?
Oh.
It's not very often, especially during his action heyday. And then oftentimes, like in Total Recall, he has a wife and a love interest, but it's not like he's a family man. It's like, his wife is an undercover spy and yada yada. And then in, I think it was the Mafia one where I can't think of the name, even though I just watched it recently, but the one where he has to infiltrate the mafia, he has a wife, but she's in like one scene and she throws a cake at him because he's like, eating cake makes you fat, and like it doesn't add up. But then you get something like True Lies, which was a couple of years before this, and you really get to see what Arnold can do given like the right circumstances with the family. In Collateral Damage, he plays a dad as well, but his wife and kid die, so it's like a revenge story. And then in Maggie, he gets to play the dad to a younger kid and sort of like actually be in a parental role, and he's kind of doing that on Fubar right now as well. And I don't think maybe it is Raw Deal is the one that I'm thinking of. Probably is. Infiltrates the Chicago Mafia. So if you ever want to see an Austrian guy try to infiltrate the mob, that's the one for you.
I think, to be honest, this is the first rewatch of a like nostalgia based movie where I was like, why did I love this so much? Like, I feel like this didn't hold up for me. Not that it's not gonna hold up in general, but my recollection didn't meet today's rewatch.
That's fair enough. I thought I had watched this like 2 years ago when I was putting together like a list of Christmas movies that were sort of not the traditional Christmas movies. And I realized I hadn't watched the whole thing because there was so much stuff I didn't remember from it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the foundation for it is good and the performances are good enough, but there's obviously a lot of weaknesses in this movie. There's a reason why it's got a 42.2 out of 100 for the Bad Movies We Love score. There's a reason it doesn't even have great audience scores either on Letterboxd or Rotten Tomatoes, but a 5.7 is respectable. It's watchable. in my opinion. And I think this does have a lot of watchability to it, but could certainly be refined. But we're also going to do something that we're going to do for the first time on this show right now.
Uh-oh.
Called Set the Table.
Okay.
So this is sort of a little preamble to like what happened to get this movie made. So, as you mentioned, inspired by the frenzy over popular Christmas toys like the Cabbage Patch Kids, Power Rangers toys, and the Tickle Me Elmos of the late 80s and early 90s, both screenwriter Randy Kornfield and producer Chris Columbus had personal experience that went into the screenplay, which was eventually picked up by 20th Century Fox at the time. Director Brian Levant, who was also slated to work with Schwarzenegger as the director for Junior, but that didn't work out. He was hired, and Arnold was quickly brought on in the lead role when his passion project of a remake of Planet of the Apes was scrapped. And it was actually Arnold's agent who suggested Sinbad for the role, and he missed his initial audition, touring with the USO at the time, and he thought he blew it when they finally waited for him and did the audition, but he won the role, and filming began then in Minneapolis in April of 1996, with the finishing touches being completed here in Los Angeles in August of 96. A few months before getting ready for Christmas.
Yeah, very quick turnaround.
Yeah. So now that we've gone through a little bit of the pre-production element, do you want to do the honors of the synopsis haiku?
Sure.
Sure. Oh, yes. Whenever you're... Is this what you meant when you said you're doing your homework?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. Well, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Last minute scramble. Turbo Man's gift in high demand. Holiday delight.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think it's better than mine. I'll read you mine, though.
Okay.
The snow is falling. Dad hunts for the special toy. It's turbo time, boy.
I think that one's better. Yours is way better.
Well, yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, it's
That's
turbo time.
I feel like there was another toy that was similar to this.
To Turbo Man?
Well, it was like action figure like. Maybe it was the Power Rangers stuff.
That might have been, yeah. Maybe like a Megazord. You got to get all the Power Rangers combined to make it a Zord.
Whatever happened to the Power Rangers? Are they still around?
They just made a rebooted movie like a year or two ago.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like a big deal. I didn't watch it. The last one I saw was the one with Ivan Ooze. I don't know if that was the second movie or the first one. Might have been the first one. But then I think they brought the show back too, but I'm not a Power Rangers expert, so I can't speak to that too well. But things that we can speak to are things like, why do you think someone would say this is, in fact, a bad movie?
Ooh. I mean, like you said, the writing is not great. And in all honesty, rewatching it, the acting is not great.
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
Ouch.
I know, I'm sorry. Not necessarily Arnold, but I feel like, I don't know, I wanted to smack the Ted character.
You're supposed to.
I know, but I don't remember him being that creepy that, like, immediately in the movie.
Yeah, I watching that like, wow, like Phil Hartman's really about all this like mom poontang.
Yeah, but it's like instantly. So we don't even learn that Rita Wilson and Arnold Schwarzenegger have a rocky marriage before we see him immediately go into creeper mode.
Yeah, he's very much being a creeper. He's like, but you see him like, I forgot what they're doing. Oh, he's recording the karate competition, and all the like housewives are like, "Ooh, well, can you come over and like fix my gutter? Oh yeah, I need you to like do this at my house." And it's like all of them are swarming him.
Yeah,
and it's like, is he the only male in the neighborhood that gives anybody attention? And then we see Arnold, he's too busy selling mattresses. So
I mean, I think that really bothers me more so now than ever, even if I knew that in the past. But you don't like ruin your marriage and your parent, relationship with your kid over selling mattresses. That doesn't seem to fit.
It doesn't. I know it makes
even for the 90s. I feel like
I don't know if they mention that it's mattresses. Maybe it's on like the background or something, but I never explicitly heard him being like, "Oh, well, I sold the most mattresses." Like, because really, you're gonna come home to your wife and be like, "I had to sell those mattresses. Sorry, I missed another family event because someone needed to lay down on something." Like, so it makes Arnold seem like a shittier father, which would have been an interesting twist if he really was like, "I'm not a good father," but that's not what this story is. This story is he's really a good dad, but his priorities are out of whack because of whatever.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that this seems to be a theme in the 90s, which, I mean...
We saw it in Hook, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's an interesting theme in hindsight, watching that now, kind of knowing what we know, essentially, from parenting in that generation, let's say. It's kind of weird, to be honest. And I think part of my not reservation around enjoying it as much as the originally when it was coming out was that because I feel like that was very heavily focused on and not so much a Christmas movie. Like, it was a Christmas movie because he's shopping, trying to get this present for Christmas. But you're kind of like doing the opposite of what a Christmas movie should do, kind of a thing.
Yeah, he's not spending any time with his family.
Yeah. It was disturbing. It was very uncomfortable to watch.
Well, yeah, it's funny that like we did Hook too, and in that like adult Peter Panning is very much like not involved with his kids. His son and him are clashing big time. You know, he's on the phone working when they're on family vacation. And I mean, at least in that, it's like he's a corporate mergers and acquisitions lawyer. So like the thing that he's doing is big money. So at least you could be like, well, he's greedy. But here you have Arnold like brown nosing people buying mattresses like, "You're my number one customer." And it's like, and he says that to everybody on the phone and then gets caught saying it to his wife. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." So it's like he's just like a schmoozy salesman. And like there's not enough time. Like, I think a Steve Martin type of actor could pull it off, because I think we see that from Steve Martin in Mixed Nuts, which I did with Scott last Christmas season, where it's like when he's on the phone doing the suicide hotline stuff, he's like one type of person. And then when he's off the phone, it's like a very harsh shift. And in this, like, that's not really the case. It's like they're trying to make you believe that Arnold is both like the good dad that's really trying hard, but also the guy that's obsessed with selling mattresses and being like Minnesota's number one mattress man. So like that stuff doesn't really line up. And there isn't a great resolution for like why something finally clicks for him, other than like, "Oh wow, spending time with my son doing something new was fun. I like being a dad." So it's like that never really happens. And then like Rita Wilson's way too good of an actress to just like get buried in the background.
Yeah, and she didn't get to do much even in the scenes she was in.
She bakes cookies. She gets hit on by Phil Hartman. She gives Arnold like a little bit of attitude, and then it's kind of it. She's just there.
I feel like it didn't need to be Rita Wilson.
It didn't. And that's why I was saying like it's interesting for me, for Arnold's career, to like actually put him in a role like this with a capable actress, and then just like they're not really together throughout most of the movie. So it's like in Raw Deal too, like there's not an affectionate relationship with his wife. I think the one with Jamie Lee Curtis, you know, in True Lies is probably the best that I've seen, in that he's playing nerdy at home. She is nerdy at home. But then when she's crossing over into his world, she has to like be sexy and suave and be an effective spy. So it's like they just work well together, because I think they both have a good sense of humor. And I think that works well for that film. But here, you're not asking a lot of that relationship. It's like all you need is some broad strokes of Arnold's not there for his son. He has to get the toy to win his son back over, And the movie is mostly Arnold and Sinbad going through sort of like Home Alone style shenanigans. So it's capitalizing on the fact that Home Alone was a popular movie. Obviously, there's a child at the center of that as well. But like the things that happen in this movie is like people would be getting hurt way more than they are. But because it's a, kids' Christmas movie, it's sort of dumbed down.
Right. I mean, yeah, it pokes holes in those areas especially, but what is your opinion on that, or how did you feel about rewatching it now?
I still had fun. I mean, Arnold is a very charismatic guy, and I wanted to see more of him as the salesman, if that's going to be the thing. I want to see him on the phone being like, yes, mattresses are great, like I'll do whatever I can to sell you, I love you, you're my best customer. But then as soon as he's off the phone, like, fuck, this is miserable, and I'm drowning in debt, and we're going to lose our house, and all these other things that would explain why he's sort of not there for his family, or why he has to work overtime, or why he has to like go in on the weekend. Like, so I think I still like him, and he's very good at physical comedy, which he doesn't get enough credit for. And he's got sort of like this comedic enthusiasm, which we talked about in the Junior episode, which he also is very good at. Like when he gets to be Turbo Man, like he's obviously having a lot of fun with that, and like you see it in his face. And so like that aspect I liked. I think him and Sinbad actually are good together, but this movie is caught between being like a sort of rated R buddy comedy with the two of them, maybe even PG-13, where it's like it gets to be a little bit more physical, a little bit more violent, a little more serious, but keep the sense of humor, and then just like remove the wife and kid from the equation altogether and have it be this competition of the two of them. Make it a Black Friday movie where it's like, they're sort of buddy outside the store, but they want the same thing inside, and then they're competing for it. Like, I feel like the basics of it are there. It just, the overall execution is not spectacular, but I do like Phil Hartman, and I'm glad to see him because he is super smarmy in this, and he's pretty
so
gross. Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe that's why it was just harder to watch, or I feel like it doesn't, hold up entirely, but he was just, and like I said, they did it right away. They didn't even give you a chance to like try and see Arnold and Rita's marriage or couple, first before throwing him in, and it just gave me the icks.
Hi, you might remember me from being disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, he's so good at it, but I don't like it.
He is.
It's rough.
Okay, well, do you want to go back and take a look at the trailer from 1996?
Sure. Was this before or after the Santa Claus movies?
That's a good question, because I think Tim Allen was in contention to play both roles, I think both the neighbor actually and
Arnold's character.
Yeah. So I'm going to say the Santa Claus is either 95 or 97. Because it'd be weird to do both of them
in the same year.
Yeah, it'd be really weird, wouldn't it? All right, well, let's take a look at this trailer.
All right.
But before we get to the trailer, it's time for a quick word from today's sponsor. It might be fall, but it's never too early to get in on the Christmas spirit. And in this case, that means getting drunk after a long day of last-minute holiday shopping before having to face your family with the crushing weight of inadequacy on top of you. So while you're out, pick up some reindeer punch. It's sweet, it's savory, and it's got the bite of an agitated reindeer thanks to the special ingredient. That's ground reindeer antlers, fresh from the North Pole. It used to be outlawed in the States, but thanks to some well-compensated friends at the FDA, you can ease your troubles and drown your sorrows with the delicious flavor of reindeer punch. You'll feel so good, you'll be fighting large land mammals in no time. So don't delay, and pick up a bottle today. And now, back to the show.
I'm going to turn the volume down so we don't blow our eardrums out.
Thanks.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Every holiday season, there's one toy everyone has to have.
I want the Turbo Man action figure with the arms and legs that move, and the rock and roll jetpack.
This kid's kind of annoying, right?
Getting it is every child's dream.
Whoever does
No.
it can be a real
I mean, he was
loser.
cute at
Finding
first.
it
You got the doll.
He was cute until he started
is
talking.
this father's nightmare.
I'll get that toy. I promise.
Whoa! Nothing like waiting until the last minute, Howard, sir.
Especially on Christmas Eve.
It's like, yeah, you get the big gags in the store of like the displays getting knocked down and the mob.
Where's your Christmas spirit?
The last one just left. Now, it's two fathers.
This is war.
One mission.
I'm trying to think, there was that Christmas movie
And every
too
man for himself.
with Matthew Broderick,
Late delivery of Turbo Man. That toy.
where it's like him and his neighbor fighting the entire time.
Is there a problem, officer?
You can never do too much to make a child's Christmas magical.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, this scene where he's lighting the house on fire
From the
and kicks
director of Mrs.
the
Doubtfire.
You want a Turbo Man?
Joseph's head out the window.
I'm not gonna sit in your lap.
I just realized too they were advertising as two dads competing,
And
but
from the
yet
director of the
we know nothing
Flintstones.
about Sinbad's family. It's all about Arnold's family. That doesn't, like, why is it two dads competing?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you need more of like why
Sinbad.
Sinbad is a sympathetic character.
This man is totally insane.
Thank you.
Christmas comes but once a year.
Get Mini-Me getting punched in the face by the Big Show.
Jingle All the Way.
You picked the wrong day.
Well, we don't know if it was Rudolph or not, but yeah, he punched that reindeer square in the face.
How's that PG?
There's no swearing, no nudity, no real violence.
Just implied violence is okay? Meaning no blood?
Meaning the violence is not serious. He Three Stooges, like five guys with a candy cane, swings the candy cane. It's like dunk, 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 dunk. Hits all of them, you know.
Yeah.
You got the giant from WWE, Paul something. I never remember his last name, but the Big Show.
Mm-hmm.
He punches Mini-Me, Vern Troyer, and then he goes flying across the room like he's got a jetpack on. So it's like
Slapstick.
comedic violence. Yeah. But yeah, I think PG is probably correct for that. But the thing I was going to mention earlier about Conan is that in Conan, he punches a camel in the face.
What's up with the animal violence?
Yeah. I mean, in this, he's getting chased by the reindeer and then turns around and it's just he's fed up and uppercuts this reindeer. But
Self-defense.
yeah, Conan was the movie and the episode that made me decide that, like, yes, I want to do a full month of movies dedicated to Arnold Schwarzenegger films. And so to go from Conan being the catalyst to this being the last episode of the month, and in both of them, he punches a large quadruped mammal in the face and knocks it out as well in both of them. And then him and the reindeer do share a Minnesota beer after this.
Yeah.
So
many of them.
Yeah, he gives them some beer in his little reindeer bowl and they hang out and they're buddies. You feel like you're up to doing some trivia here?
I'll try my best.
All right.
Time for trivia!
Well, let's see what we've got in the chamber questions-wise. I mean, the answers are also on the screen, so you could technically
I can't see them
cheat.
from
Well,
here.
that's good. Okay, so
I tried to study, like I said.
question number 1. This was Arnold Schwarzenegger's 4th leading role in a comedy. Can you name the previous 3? Give you a point for every one that you get.
Junior.
Definitely.
I can't name the rest.
You definitely know it because we talked about it while we were doing Junior.
Kindergarten Cop.
That's another one. And then while we were watching Junior, there was an actor in that he was also in another comedy with. You might not get that one, but once I tell you, you'll say, damn it, I knew that one.
Yeah, Junior. It's on the tip of my tongue, but we could be here for a while.
Well, who's he in Junior with?
Danny DeVito.
Uh-huh. And you remember the other movie they did together?
Oh my God. Say it.
Twins.
Twins. Damn it.
You still got 2 out of 3, so that's pretty solid. You'll get some spins of the wheel for that.
All right, thanks.
All right, so question 2. Arnold appeared with James Belushi in 2 previous movies. Can you name either of those movies? I'll give you a point for each one of those.
Was Kindergarten Cop one of them?
It was not, no. One of them I'm pretty sure you wouldn't get.
Okay.
But the other one you might have a chance. I'll give you a hint. It's an action movie that could be on this show at some point.
Nope. I'm gonna have to.
Last Action Hero.
Last Action Hero?
That's a good one. It's like one of the first sort of like meta movies that's like he's not playing him. He's playing himself, but he's not playing himself. He's also in the movie as Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he's also playing like a character that Schwarzenegger played.
Okay.
It's really good. It was just ahead of its time, and it was like at a weird point in his career where it was like too smart at the time, I think. Like when you just wanted like dumb action, this was not that, and it wasn't serious either. Even though it's like it follows all of like the basic sort of action story plot lines that an action movie would, it's also like very self-aware of how formulaic that is and sort of makes fun of that along the way. Yeah, it's a good one. I want to watch it again. And at the beginning of that movie, there's like Arnold Schwarzenegger's Hamlet. So it's like I wish the full version of that existed.
I vaguely remember you mentioning that before.
Because he's like, you killed my father. And then just like throws him out a stained glass window. So yeah, and the way that part of the movie is shot is pretty funny too. So I hope that at some point I get to cover that. All right, we'll wrap it up with the third and final question of trivia. This is Arnold Schwarzenegger's only Christmas movie as an actor, but he directed a Christmas movie. Can you name that movie? I would not be able to name it, so.
So, no.
Christmas in Connecticut. So
Never
now,
heard of that.
me either. So now I got
He
another.
directed that?
Yeah, now I got an Arnold Schwarzenegger directorial effort that I need to get my eye holes on.
What year is that from?
I don't know. I didn't write it down.
Never heard of it. See, you learn something new every day.
Looks like it was a remake of a 1945 film, or just maybe by the same title. TV movie starring Chris Christopherson, who just passed away.
Oh, sad. R.I.P.
Very sad, yeah. I do have a Chris Christopherson album. Maybe spin that this week.
Yep.
And then, oh yeah, Maggie Smith too.
I know.
The curse is still alive. I did the Hook episode. She died. There was an episode that we did maybe within the last month or something where another actor from another one of the movies died. That's like 5 or 6 people that have been in movies that I've covered on the show that have died, and now I feel bad.
Yes, this is all your fault.
It is. It has nothing to do with the fact that she was 89 years old.
I know, that one was a sad one.
I know, I'm sad. Okay, well, let's move on then to the wheel.
All right.
Well, first, I actually have to wrangle the wheel because I didn't pull it up like a smart person who does a podcast regularly and knows what they're supposed to be doing. So
it's okay. You were in Bill's morning, I know.
Yes, I was. I prepped most of this stuff earlier today, though. But I recorded an episode of Cinema Shit Show earlier, so I was not fully engulfed in setting up this. Okay, so you got Junior and Kindergarten Cop. So you got 2. So you'll get 2 spins of the wheel. So let's give it a crack. You can hear that, but the people can't hear it. The people get a different sound effect. Okay. All right, so if you could target one thing as this film's primary weakness, what would that be, and how would you fix it? I feel like I need to change this question a little bit, but it's a mouthful.
It is. I would definitely say the writing, and how I would fix it is just get someone to remove the plot holes. Like, I don't know how else to fix it other than rewriting it.
What's funny is that it was rewritten.
Was it?
The original script came in, and then the producer, Chris Columbus, is not credited, but he rewrote the script before going to Fox and getting it greenlit. So they just maybe needed another pass on that script. I think more importantly than script, it needs identity, because like if you want it to be a family Christmas film, like you got to focus on the family, which this movie doesn't. If you want it to be a buddy comedy, you have to sort of let Sinbad and Arnold do that, which this movie does, but not entirely. So I think it's just like caught between a rock and a hard place. They're trying to get it done before Christmas. They shot 5 weeks in Minnesota before coming to LA, and then took 3 weeks to finish that one parade scene at the end. And then they only had from August until Christmas to like market it and, get it ready. So you couldn't even roll out the Turbo Man toys or anything. I would have liked to see more of the Turbo Man universe sprinkled in. Like, because the kid just watches it once and then it's all about this toy and then the quest to get the toy. So like some of the legend building for Turbo Man would have been interesting. I mean, like if you look at a movie like RoboCop, you get a father who is like duty bound as a police officer, but the memories of his son are his son watching this show TJ Laser. And so when Murphy's at work, you see him doing this thing with his gun, like flipping it and then putting it back in the holster, and it's this thing from the TJ Laser show. So it's like he's thinking about his son and like wanting to impress his son while he's at work. So when he like dies in the line of duty and then is like tormented by these memories of this for his son and like this being his signature, it matters. Where like in this, like, yeah, he's not thinking about his son while he's selling mattresses. He's like, oh, my son's got a big karate thing today. Like, I know, but I got mattresses to sell. What am I going to do? So it's like, that's just kind of dumb, to be fair.
Yeah. And the writing.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's
a script issue.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that kind of falls in line with the themes, especially too, like you're saying, the family Christmas movie versus is it about the kid parent relationship, the creepy neighbor, it just kind of goes all like, what was the point of the creepy neighbor? They never, like she doesn't like it. She's just uncomfortable the whole time. And it just pisses him off in a couple of scenes, you know what I mean? So it's not important to the storyline.
No, he's just there to like be annoying.
Yeah.
And
that's annoying.
Yeah. Well, he's good at it because Phil Hartman's great. And it was the last movie of Phil Hartman's career that released while he was still alive.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
I know, to look back and think on that. And he also starred with Sinbad in House Guest, which I don't know if you've ever seen, but that's pretty funny too. Like Sinbad had a moment in the 90s where I'm not sure what happened. And then he's also like got the Mandela effect sprinkled on him for some reason, because everybody remembers this movie where he was a genie that apparently doesn't exist.
That's so crazy, because I would have been like, yeah, he was genie in a movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was not, because Shaq was in the one called like Kazam. And then I don't remember the name of the Sinbad one, but I have memories of Sinbad being a genie in something.
I do too. Did you know they let him improv all of his lines?
I heard that. Yeah. They let him and Arnold do a little improving together, which is pretty cool considering you're maybe being a little risky knowing that this is like a PG family-friendly Christmas film. So that's kind of cool. And Joe Pesci was considered for that role of Myron, which would have been crazy, but also like kind of a little too close to home with the Home Alone series. But I think that's why maybe the tone of the movie feels like Home Alone, is because like that sort of was in mind when writing it. What's interesting about the backstory that Myron has is that he's telling Arnold like about his parents never getting him the toy that he wanted, And he grew up to be like this angry mailman, and Arnold sort of like hallucinates his son sitting there in the diner with him as like a quote unquote failure. Like, oh, you're a post office worker, you're a failure. Like, first of all, stupid. And then his son is like drinking whiskey from a flask like midday. So Arnold's like, oh, I can't do that. But the toy gun that Myron describes actually was a gun from Johnny 7. Yeah, so it's like the best-selling toy of 1964 for boys.
Wow.
So it's interesting that like that little tidbit is in there. Obviously, one of the writers probably like remembered that from their own childhood. But we talk about the script here, and before I forget, I wanted to mention that 20th Century Fox was sued over this movie, and they were actually ordered to pay $19 million for stealing the script, but they appealed and said that the script that was submitted, that was supposedly the stolen script, was submitted after the initial draft of this. So the judgment was overturned and they didn't end up paying. But
interesting.
Yeah. A little shady.
That is. And not surprising.
Not surprising. All right, you get one more spin on the wheel.
Okay.
Take it away. Ooh, this is going to be an interesting one. If you could sit down for a meal with one character from this movie, who would it be and why?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's a thinker.
It is a thinker.
It's a better question than some of the other ones I came up with to start.
Did you keep the same questions or do you change it according to the movie?
No, I kept most of the same ones and then just on a wheel and they spin.
I'm going to say Rita Wilson's character.
And why is that?
Because I think she doesn't get enough screen time.
Because Rita is sad in this movie?
Yeah.
You're going to ask her why she doesn't get enough screen time? What's wrong, Rita?
Yeah, and why won't you stay away from Ted?
I mean, she's not like gravitating towards Ted, really. He's sort of
injecting himself.
Yeah, I was going to say inserting himself, and that just doesn't sound right given the nature of his character.
Yeah, I know. She's not leaning into it, but
she's not. You can tell she's actually a little weirded out by it.
She looks pretty uncomfortable in most of the scenes.
Yeah, there's a scene where they're in the kitchen baking cookies, and he's at the house for some reason. And he's telling her to like relax and go take a shower.
Yeah.
While he finishes baking the cookies. And he like leans in and undoes her apron and takes it off and puts it on himself. And it's like, I find it interesting because like you can tell that she's creeped out and we're watching it and can easily see that this dude is a fucking creep. But the way that he is handled in the movie overall still is like, oh, he's a creep, but he's an innocent creep kind of thing where it's like, I don't know about that. Ted, I think, has some skeletons in the closet.
Yeah,
and sure. I think if we dig a little deeper on Ted's character, you're going to see that he's done some probably manipulative, pretty dirty things.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but Hartman nails the tone of that, which, not everybody can do because it's like he still comes across as like, oh, he's the successful good dad, right? That helps everybody in the neighborhood with their chores.
Without a wife?
Yeah, I don't know what happened to his wife. He probably murdered her. Like based on the character.
She's in the basement.
Yeah, based on the character that he plays in this, he probably killed her and got away with it. And now he just bones all of the lonely housewives.
I mean, I feel like for this type of movie, like you were saying earlier a little bit about the family specific dynamics, his character should have been not sleazy to make him more appealing for Rita Wilson's character to support that divide between her and Arnold's character. You know what I mean? Like he should be not creepy, but like charming, and like Rita Wilson should be like drawn to him to support that like theme of the movie versus him just running out of the gates as a creeper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And I think there's a way to do that too, where it's like he's the sort of idyllic single dad, right? Like he's doing everything. He's helping people in the neighborhood. He's taking care of his kid. He's at the karate tournament, right? He's doing all the things that he's supposed to be doing without looking and sounding so creepy and like enjoying all the attention that he gets from all the women. But I feel like that's an okay character if you want to skew the movie more adult.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think like there are people out there like that exist that definitely are like ingratiate themselves into the lives of people that they see are vulnerable and they take advantage of them. And that's kind of what he's really doing in the movie. And it's like you can tell that he's grooming Rita Wilson's character to sort of step in there. Like he knows Howard's absent. He's like, oh, well, he's not going to be here. So like I'm in his house. I'm hanging out with his son. And then you see him snap at the kids when Rita goes upstairs to take a shower. He's like, shut up.
Yeah.
And so it's like the nice guy demeanor is all of a sudden dropped. And like you just get a glimpse of what's underneath that. And so I think the intent is correct with him. I think like the character is written specifically to show us that, but the movie is not capable of allowing that to be shown because this is going to be a kid's movie. So yeah, like probably this is a studio decision. Like, oh yeah, you can't have him be like a sexual predator in this neighborhood.
But yet he is.
He is, yeah. They're just like, it's like, if you're really paying attention to it, you can see what he's doing. Yeah. But like, I think at the time, at a glance, you can just be like, oh, he's the annoying neighbor. And that's kind of like all you're taking away from that role. Right. But he does have a lot of screen time. He does do some creepy stuff that is very sort of like unsettling. And it's definitely there.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why like at the karate match, like all the ladies were coming up to him. I'm like, damn, I was like, is he sleeping with all of the wives in the neighborhood?
He's grooming them all.
Yeah, he's a perv. But credit to Phil Hartman for being able to like make it that sort of seamless in that way.
Yeah, I mean, he made me super uncomfortable, which is why I was like, he was really good in that role to exude that so quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. We're sort of breezing through this already. I mean,
I'm prepared.
We're at 50 minutes. I know you're prepared. Sort of like I'm already sort of like in vacation mode because after this episode is out, October is here and I'm on a break.
Oh, you're taking a break from this too?
Take a break. Take a break and come upstate.
Don't. I'm gonna start bawling.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm taking a break from releasing new episodes during October. I'm taking a break from hosting Film Club in October.
Yeah, I thought it was just Film Club.
No, it's both. I've made it coincide so that I'm like, really, if I free up as much time as possible, how can I reallocate that time? So part of what I'm going to be doing is doing like podcasting school, learning more about my podcast host and how to use it and how to get like better integrations out of it, how to understand the data better, how to advertise better, how to approach advertisers, stuff like that, how to set up memberships through the host so I don't have to go through a third party. I can just go straight through my podcast, stuff like that, right? Okay. So I'm going to record some episodes and just get them banked and ready to go for when I come back, but I have to do some scheduling for that as well, because when we come back in November for this show, it's going to be Lundgren Calling. We're going to do Dolph Lundgren movies. It's going to be amazing. I've already done a couple because Rocky IV was one of them and Universal Soldier was one of them. So I know I'm doing Showdown in Little Tokyo, and I think Blackjack, and I think I Come in Peace, which is often titled Dark Angel. So I've got to get one more on the schedule. So I got to find a big Lundgren head and Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait, I did Masters of the Universe, too. So I've done several Dolph Lundgren movies at this point. And again, watching those, I was like, I got to do a Dolph Lundgren month. Same thing with Jean-Claude. I mean, that was sort of like what started it all was Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Lots of Van Damme movies were watched.
Lots were watched. Few were good.
Oh.
But all were entertaining.
All right.
So enjoyable experience nonetheless. But yeah, there's a reason that, had a whole month dedicated to him on the show. Okay, so I think that's at least segment-wise everything except for the last little tidbit, but we got to save that still. So was there anything from the movie specifically that you wanted to talk about while we're here that we didn't get a chance to talk about yet?
I don't think so. I think we covered all the high level topics that I had in mind. I think it was more interesting to pick up on, because I don't think I've watched this since I was a kid, to be honest. So to pick up from the adult side of all the very heavy adult themes, similar to Hook, like we had talked about, that are actually in this and going on and disguised by the hunt for a toy. I'm always curious, well, not always, I guess, but I'm curious now in hindsight, because we've watched several movies with this kind of structure, like, what was that being pulled from? Or like, why were those so prominent in so many movies in that timeline?
Parental strife.
Yeah.
Parents not dealing with their kids well. Yeah, I mean, it's a theme in a lot of Spielberg movies, but he's a child of divorce.
Right, but like all the creators, essentially, right? Like, was this...
I don't know.
Producer, writer, child of divorce?
Possibly.
I mean...
I didn't do that much homework. I mean, Steven Spielberg had to make a movie about his parents' divorce for me to be like, oh yeah, this is what happened to him. Right. Otherwise, I would never know.
Right.
But that's how much Steven Spielberg loves divorce, is that he's like, I'm going to make a movie about my parents' divorce.
I mean, it's just interesting because, I mean, it was still kind of our generation, right?
Yeah.
So...
I mean, look, you were raised by a single mom. I was raised by a single mom. Like, they had to work, so... They weren't always around in a capacity that was as much as we would like. And, I also had 3 younger sisters that sort of like needed mom's attention as well. But despite all that, like my mom worked those hours, always had presents under the tree, was not shopping on Christmas Eve, and she wasn't there for a lot of like athletics and stuff like that, but during the day she's working, she couldn't be there. I mean, I think it affected a little bit of how I pursued that going forward, because I would play sports, but then I was like, nobody cares. Like, nobody shows up and watches. So like, who am I doing this for? Because it's like, I like it, but do I love it enough? Like, am I pushed enough to keep doing it? So like, even with my stepdad, like when I was playing golf, I had gotten pretty good by the time that I was high school age, to the point where it's like, I wasn't great, but I probably could have been playing competitive high school golf, and there was just like no incentive to do so. No one was like, hey, you should do this. Like, you're good. You should try to get better at playing on the golf team and like actually have a coach that's training you to get better. Like, it just never happened. So
yeah,
it's like, all right, well, I'll just be like a casual weekend golfer then. And
yeah, it's just interesting because, yeah, as kids, we're not recognizing those are the themes of the movie. We're just following the hunt of the toy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sort of just like along for the slapsticky comedy, and I'm not there to really pick up on the adult story beats. And so, yeah, it's a different experience watching it now than it was as a kid. So I understand why you have your reservations about it as an adult, because I think if I were to try to make this movie now, or even approach making a similar story now, I already know like what I would stray away from. I wouldn't try to do a beat for beat copy of this. I would try to take the things that I think are the most important from it and the most usable, and go from there. Because it's like, this is a movie where I'm sure in the script it's like, well, we have him fighting like a warehouse full of Santas. So like, how do we get him to the warehouse full of the Santas, right?
Yeah.
You know, so we have all these gags set up that we want to establish and have those be like the fun moments of the movie, like the ball bouncing all around like Mall of America that he's chasing. But it's like, bro, there's like 3 or 4 balls on the ground, like right underneath you, and you're Arnold Schwarzenegger. You could just like manhandle some of these old ladies and grab a couple of these rubber balls, but instead he decides to chase it like he's got tunnel vision, but it's for the sake of the gag going through the entire process. So I feel like, to me, that's kind of like a backwards way of writing it, because you're not really like writing the situation. Like you're starting with the end of like, well, we want him to like go down the slide and the kid stuff and end up in the ball pit. So it's like, how do we get him there? And then like work your way back to the idea, rather than like, oh, this is what happens. There's a random lottery and like what naturally would occur in that situation. So it's like you're working the story backwards.
Yeah, it's like giving you the punchline of a joke and being like, wait, let me explain the joke to you now.
Yeah. And I mean, when you have to explain a joke, it's because the joke isn't funny. Yeah. So
I mean, look, I would not say like don't watch this movie.
No, definitely watch
I wouldn't say I even dislike it. I just don't feel like I love it as much as I remember loving it as a kid.
Yeah. I still love this movie, but I can acknowledge that it's not a good movie. That's why we're talking about it on Bad Movies We Love.
Yeah,
But I still love Arnold in it, and I'm glad that he not only took a chance like doing this movie and working with a director that he previously didn't want to, because Brian Levant was supposed to direct End of Days, and Arnold said no. And so 2 years later, to come back and work with a guy that you rejected from a previous film, and to do it in a comedy where all of your other comedy roles were with a different director. So he worked with Ivan Reitman for Kindergarten Cop, Twins, and Junior. So it's like they know each other. They know the style of humor that they're working with. Like they're on the same page. So to risk it again and to do a Christmas movie and to like to take this on at all, I think was big for Arnold. And I'm still glad that he did it. And I'm glad that we got to talk about it for this month, because it's a combination of like a bunch of the sort of atypical roles for him that we've been talking about with Junior and End of Days, and what was the other one that I did? Can't even remember now.
Oh my gosh, I'm blanking.
Batman and Robin.
There you go.
Yeah, and I mean, he gets to basically be a comedian in that too. Like, I mean, that's not a serious take on Mr. Freeze at all. He's using ice puns the entire movie. So all of these roles were sort of like outside of his traditional comfort zone, and I think that's probably why they're like the worst rated of all of them, amongst other things. But I'm glad that I got to talk about them, because I feel like it's worthwhile, especially in his career. It's like, you know, when I talked to Kevin about Hudson Hawk, like Hudson Hawk is a very ill-received movie, but if you look at the entirety of Bruce Willis's career and you were like, what are the movies that like you want to pick out to like look at his career? It's like, yeah, you could do Die Hard 1, 2, 3, whatever the sequels are. You know, you could do a lot of the Bruce Willis like action flick type of movies, but that's not like a good, you know, it's not a good snapshot of his entire career. And I think Hudson Hawk, despite being a movie that's ill-received and is quote unquote bad, is one of the like braver, more diverse options that Bruce Willis ever put on screen, and is very much worthwhile of your time if you're a fan of Bruce Willis. Whether or not the movie is good is a different question, but I think like that same logic I'm applying here for Arnold.
Yeah, and I was reading like the other people like you had started to mention that were up for this role too, and I think Steve Martin was one of them, and I was like, well, I love Steve Martin, I could see him doing it, but then I was also like, I don't think I could see him doing this. Like I'm not dissing Arnold in this role, but I can't picture it not being Arnold, if that makes sense.
I don't want this to sound too mean, but the movie isn't funny enough for Steve Martin.
Agreed.
Yeah, because
that's what I'm saying. But then now I was like, oh, Steve Martin, because I love Steve Martin. But then I was like, no, I can't see him doing this. And it is fitting for Arnold.
For the most part, like Steve Martin's comedy isn't physical, you know? So like what makes this work for Arnold is that like he's this big burly guy trying to play like a soft dad, and then like the push and pull of like, is he going to turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger? Or is he just still going to stay like the button down wool coat dad? And like he's willing to take the bumps of like, you know, getting hit with the bag and do the physical side of things, but it's like that's not where Steve Martin like operates from a comedy perspective.
Right.
So yeah, I'm glad that it wasn't Steve Martin. Same. But you could make the creepy Phil Hartman neighbor like the adult version of this story with Steve Martin if you brought in like a different writing team to punch it up. But you know, I think we've covered a lot of ground, and it's probably the right time to go to Critics Corner, and we'll hear what all of the horrible things that the critics had to say about this movie. And with a Metascore of 34, I can almost guarantee there's going to be some really gnarly stuff on here. And we start with a 0 on the board. This is Mark Savlov with the Austin Chronicle. Read him on the show a few times. It says, unfunny and worse, unpleasant. Jingle All the Way is holiday cheer from the warped psyche of a Scrooge. Even the Grinch wouldn't like this one. So he's throwing a lot of Christmas puns in there for someone who really seems a little bit Grinchy in his own right. Mark.
Mirroring or something?
Yeah, projecting maybe, but... okay, so let's see. We've got a 16, a 20, and a 38, bunch of 50s. All right, we're going to jump the 16 and go to a 20. And this is Empire. There is no name attached to this. It says the one saving grace is Lloyd, who gives a terrific and lively portrayal despite some horribly sentimental lines. He is the movie's guiding star, a lone bright light in a string of dud bulbs. Otherwise, beware. And my question is, who the F is Lloyd?
Oh my God, thank God. I was like, what? Did I miss something or watch the wrong movie?
Are they talking about the kid? Jake Lloyd? Who plays Jamie Langston? Wow. Okay. Sorry, but yeah.
The kid in the movie?
He's the saving grace? If the movie would have been about him, then yeah, maybe. But like, he's just there as like a plot device.
Okay. No wonder there's no name attached to that one.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's see. We've got we'll jump that one and go to a 40. This is The Telegraph. It also doesn't have a name attached to it.
Can we review the reviews?
That's what we're doing right now.
Okay.
The Telegraph says the film is very loud and festooned with the sort of comic violence far more disturbing than anything in an 18 rated movie.
Excuse me?
Like the slapsticky cartoon violence. I mean, Sinbad, like, as a post office worker, like, he has a bomb threat in this movie where it's like he's taking this like super lightly. Like, the joke is basically because I'm a post office worker, I'm prone to violence and borderline insane. And he's like, no, I didn't build this bomb, but have you ever like checked the mail? Like, people are sending bombs all the time. And he's like, I found one and kept one just in case I needed it. And so he like commits a terrorist act in the middle of the movie. And then it's just like, well, you know, he's a good dad. He's just trying to like get home to his son with a Turbo Man doll.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's a heavy theme.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, that scene is funny because of Arnold, though. And, you know, it's during a sequence in the movie where there's a radio show that is offering a Turbo Man doll to anybody that can name all 8 of Santa's reindeer.
Oh, yeah.
And so Arnold gets it, and they're like racing to a phone, and Sinbad yanks the phone cord out. So then they're like running over to the radio station. And Arnold is like banging on the window. He's like, I know it. And he goes around to the door and it's locked and he's banging on it. And then he just kicks the door open. The window shatters and he just starts like assaulting the radio DJ with the names of all of the reindeer. And that moment is pretty funny. And then it's like, hey, I have a bomb. And it's like, what? Okay, this is crazy. And then what makes that scene worse is that like he drops the package on the ground. Turns out it wasn't a bomb. He was bluffing, right? And so, okay. But then he goes downstairs and he's surrounded by cops that have been called in because they broke into the radio station. And he uses the same bit again, and the cops don't know. And so they ask Arnold's character, like, is he for real? And he's like, this dude's completely insane. So the cops are like, all right, it really is a bomb, right? So they have to take it seriously. They drop their guns. And then he leaves the package and runs away. And it turns out it is a bomb. And then the cop who picks it up, he gets like Looney Tunes. Like he gets Wile E. Coyote to where the bomb goes off, and it's just like, he's covered in soot.
Yeah, and still standing without any other damage or injury.
Right, but his hands are hurt from some like hot coffee or something from earlier in the movie. That's what I'm saying. Like terrorist act, bomb explodes in cop's face, and it's just sort of laughed at. Like, oh, you just tried to murder a building full of police officers with a bomb. He's a good dad, right? Like, so
just let it go. He's a good dad.
Yeah, exactly. He's funny. He's Sinbad. So crazy to think that like he almost didn't get the part because like I don't know who else was going to play Sinbad at that point. Joe Pesci might have made sense though in that, so I can see why he was considered. But we'll go to the 50s because we've got Real Views, Variety, and the San Francisco Chronicle on the board. So I'll let you pick which one you want to do.
Let's go with Variety.
Variety. This is Emmanuel Levy. Says based on an idea similar to the premise of Home Alone, though not nearly as accomplished or entertaining, and produced by that film's director, Chris Columbus, this family comedy adventure is decidedly not a vintage Schwarzenegger kid pick on the order of Kindergarten Cop. That's fair. I think it points to something specifically that I acknowledged about the Home Alone connections, and it is not Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was asking, when did the Santa Claus movies get started? Because I felt like it was very much Home Alone and Santa Claus.
Yeah, the Santa Claus was 1994.
So it was before this?
It was, yeah. Which is weird that you would bring in Tim Allen to do this again, like to be the lead in this movie.
Well, and that's why I was wondering, because I had read that they were thinking about Tim Allen. Like, were they trying to carry on the Santa Claus franchise, I guess you could say, in a different way?
You're just getting pigeonholed. You made one successful Christmas movie, and now that's your whole life.
Yeah, it's just Tim Allen's identity.
Yeah. Okay, so we got one more on the board, and lo and behold, it's a 63 from Roger Ebert.
Wow.
That's right. He said, I liked a lot of the movie, which is genial and has a lot of energy, but I was sort of depressed by the relentlessly materialistic view of Christmas and by the choice to go with action and mild violence over dialogue and plot. So he's able to enjoy the movie and still be like, yeah, the violence doesn't make sense and the plot's not good. But it's a Christmas movie, so like it still is cheery and joyful somehow. What's up, Raj? Appreciate that. Rest in peace.
Yeah. I feel like that's pretty accurate.
It is, I think. It's about as accurate, I think, as you're going to get and as friendly as you're going to get, because he gave it a 63, so still not great, but just slightly above exactly middle.
Yeah. That works.
All right, well, we've reached the end, and there's only one other thing that we've got to do. And that is, I need you to give me a good gateway drug movie for Jingle All the Way.
I mean, I guess Home Alone.
Yeah.
But do you want something like from that timeline or just in general?
Just, yeah, if somebody's looking to like maybe roll the dice on Jingle All the Way, like what's another movie that is sort of in that neighborhood that they might be interested in?
I think Home Alone. I mean, I think my comparison of Home Alone and Santa Claus, because I mean, the Santa Claus movies have kind of like a chase element. It's just not maybe necessarily as violent. So Home Alone kind of adds that level of violence.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's fair.
Okay.
The one that I was thinking of earlier that I will throw out there now is called Deck the Halls, and that is Matthew Broderick and Danny DeVito.
There you go.
Also Kristen Chenoweth in it. It says two neighbors have it out after one of them decorates his house for the holidays so brightly that it can be seen from space. So it's like two curmudgeonly neighbors fighting over Christmas stuff. So like, yeah. And I mean, you get Danny DeVito out of it and Broderick. So good actors in like weird roles for them. And this movie also has a 5.1 on IMDb and a 28 Metascore. So somehow even worse than Jingle All the Way.
Wow. That's surprising.
Yeah. So if you like that movie, Jingle All the Way is probably a breath of fresh air.
Right.
Cool.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for coming back and doing this. We clocked it in right now, running at 1 hour and 13 minutes.
I'm impressed.
Super efficient.
Quick and efficient.
Yeah. Sometimes efficiency is good.
Get her done.
Yeah. Now I get to go cry about this Bills game.
Oh, no, we've moved on. We're in Jingle All the Way mode.
I know, right? It's Christmas. Yay.
Well, let's start with Halloween.
Let's start with Halloween. Yeah, October was a good month for the show last year, but now, and it wasn't even scary movies. It was just, I don't know, maybe there's an extra week and it helped. So, but last I looked, September might be the third best ever month of the show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good job.
It's very, very cool.
Congrats.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And thank you to Love Movies 2000, who left a review for the show that I'm going to read right now. But also, if you hear this, you need to let me know who you are, because Love Movies 2000 is not somebody that I know off the top of my head. But it does say the show is always fun. I can't get enough, and I'm not just saying that because Nick keeps it fresh with the movie choices. So, whoever you are, you won a $50 gift card to either Criterion or Vinegar Syndrome or Arrow or whatever boutique label you want. Or if you want it to go to the movies, you want a gift card to AMC or Regal or something, you got it. But you got to let me know who you are, because otherwise, I don't know what I'm going to do. So if you don't claim it, then we're going to roll it over into next month. Or well, not next month, but yeah, maybe.
November?
Yeah, November we'll do it. And then the end of November, someone will get $100 if this is not claimed. So we'll see. I'm going to have a bunch of people being like, I'm Love Movies 2000.
Email at or from the Love Movies 2000. Wouldn't that be an email?
It's not an email. I mean, maybe, but because I see, I don't know. It's Apple, so I don't know.
It's got to be like an iCloud ID, so that's got to be an email.
Yeah.
So, email.
I'll have some work to do to investigate.
What is your show email? You want
my show email? Yeah, you can email me at nick@thescheist.com. That's THESHEIST.com.
From the Love Movies 2000 email.
From the Love Movies 2000 email. Or you can email me also at nick@badmovies. No, wait, no. It's been a while since I've done this off the cuff. Uh-oh. It is Bad Movies We Love, spelled both ways now, just in case. So it's Bad Movies We LUV or Bad Movies We Love. Both of them have, either one will get directed into my email box now, so.
That was smart to do.
It was smart. It took a while.
Alias email.
Yeah. It took end of season 3 for me to figure out to do that because, the emails don't come in really. And then the ones that do are not really from listeners, which is sad because I want to hear your emails. If you're listening to this, send me an email. Just say hi. Tell me I suck. It's fine. I'll read it on the air saying, Nick, you suck. And that's okay. I have a thick skin. I'm not worried about it. But yeah, if you like the show, you want to chat, you want me to cover some bad movies that you love.
Or themes.
Yeah, or themes. I don't know how much theming I'm going to do. We'll see. I think I'm going to go back to start of next year. I'm going to sort of open it up to like freebies again and just freewheel it until I really feel a strong theme that I want to get into. Because
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, like I did an accidental sci-fi month and then started doing some themes, and it wasn't intentional until really like June. And then it was, okay, let's be intentful with what we're going to do here. So I got my work cut out for me, but yeah, thanks again for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We'll tinker on our show.
Okay.
While October gives me a little break, and I'll start working on the cover art and laying out the foundation for whatever that show ends up being. If it's still His, Hers, and Ours, if we change the name, I don't even know yet. I like Murder We Wrote, but then we have to write like a murder show. It feels like we need to write if that's the case. And,
yeah.
But we do watch a lot of true crime murder stuff, and I think that's an interesting topic. I don't know what we would do title-wise, so we'll figure that out, though. Yeah, we got to brainstorm.
Okay.
All righty.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
Cool. Thanks for being back. I appreciate it. Take care. You have a good night.
You too.
I will.
All right, me too.
Okay, I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you to my wife, Christen, for coming back on the show and celebrating SchwarzTember with me, closing it out with Jingle All the Way. It was such a fun month, I might end up doing it again next year. But if you enjoy listening to me and Christen talk about movies, you should check out This Week at the Movies over at the Scheist Podcast. And of course, thank you to everyone who took the time to listen to this episode. I know you have a lot of choices when it comes to podcasts, and I appreciate you spending your time with us. I hope you enjoyed the show, and if you do, please consider leaving a rating and a review and telling a friend about it. And the support page is live over at ko-fi.com. That's ko-fi.com/badmovieswelove. I'd also love to hear from you, so if you have a bad movie you love and or would like to be a guest on the show, you can contact me directly at badmovieswelove@thescheist.com or Bad Movies We Love on Twitter and Instagram, and that's love spelled L-U-V. Until next time, take care, be well, and have fun however you get your movies.